Houston attorney Brent Coon of Brent, Coon and Associates represents hundreds of plaintiffs in the BP oil spill case. He joins me now. The criminal charges against BP and in terms of the number of lawsuits, what should we expect?
Well, we know that the whole Gulf Coast is impacted. So you're talking Texas to Florida, and maybe the loop takes it all to the Atlantic seaboard. So geographically, we're talking about it will hopefully be criminal liability.
What will be the determining factor, do you think, if criminal charges are filed?
We dealt with the Department of Justice last time around with the Texas City explosion, and there's a broad basis of environmental charges that can be brought against BP and the other actors in this case. Those criminal violations can include individual prison, and that's what we're hoping for this time. The problem we've had all along is that BP has always been fined for what they've done wrong, for their criminal conduct, but nobody individually within the corporation and management has had accountability.
In terms of monetary fines against BP, what amount, in your view, is appropriate? You've represented plaintiffs in the past, and you say that the fines have not been enough.
You know, the fines are not enough, and it's not my personal opinion. It's the history. We see that time and time again, BP is fined by our government, either at a state or federal level, for what they've done wrong, and it never changes. It just never changes their conduct. So the fines have to fit the crime. And small fines to a large corporation, a corporation that makes tens of billions of dollars a year in profits, is inconsequential.
Doesn't BP have the wherewithal to out-litigate in terms of its financial resources, say, against some of these plaintiffs who filed, some of these shrimp boat operators and others?
I think if they took them one on at a time, they probably could, and knowing BP, they probably would. The good news in this case is that there is an alliance within the plaintiffs and within the plaintiff lawyers to make sure that that doesn't happen.
How long will litigation go in terms of years, do you think?
Ooh, good question. Hopefully this will not be like Exxon Valdez. Our Supreme Court was still making rulings on that 20 years after the incident. We hope that with the media paying much more attention to what's going on in this particular case, because it's impacting so many different people, that the time involved will be much more compressed.
Some of the claims that you have against BP, are you including in those claims your belief that you said earlier that BP is a habitual criminal, or is it more economic-based, people are suffering economically?
I think it's both. We're going to have people that lose their jobs, people that are in the shrimping industries and others, they may lose their job for decades. Maybe it's just for this season, but maybe the estuaries are impacted to such a great degree that those fisheries are gone for a generation. As to the criminal liability issues, they've always walked. And hopefully something will be done this time through the media and through the public outrage that BP's been given enough chances. And at some point, if you're a habitual criminal, you just have to do some time.
What should the government be doing in your view?
You know, I'd like to see the government doing several things better. One is they need to be more proactive in trying to contain the release. It was something that everybody just stood back and said, let BP fix it. And when it's impacting so much of our estuaries and our economy, and polluting our entire Gulf of Mexico, our government should be as proactive as it can be in terms of providing personnel, resources, boats, anything that they can provide, and we should have been doing that all along. The government also ought to be part of the think tank to make sure that we're getting the very what can be done to at least stop the oil from coming in anymore.
Brent Coon will end it there. Houston attorney of Brent, Coon and Associates, thanks so much for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.